Hello. In my last video, I talked about my struggles with productivity and task management, how most task apps are great at capturing things, but not so great at helping you see what actually needs your attention. For me, those lists often turn into a kind of graveyard, full of tasks that were either already done or no longer relevant. So to fix that, I built a spreadsheet to score tasks based on both priority and due date. It helped me focus on what was most valuable at any given moment. That spreadsheet was linked in the last video, and I'll add it again in today's notes if you want to check it out. But after using it for a while, I started to see its limits, or really, all the ways it could be better. For one thing, it only had 3 levels of manual priority: low, medium, and high. I picked 3 because that's what I saw other apps doing. But that turned out to be too limiting. I wanted one system to manage everything: work, personal life, side projects, school. And 3 levels of priority just couldn't capture all that nuance. For example, does a high priority school task really carry the same weight as a high priority work task? Even 2 work projects might have completely different levels of importance. But in most systems, they're treated exactly the same. You end up prioritizing tasks across your whole life, taking into account every other task when determining priority. At one point, I tried creating my own rules for prioritization. I decided that personal tasks could only be low or medium priority, and work tasks could be medium or high. It kind of worked, but only for a while. For one, it left me nowhere to go with school or side gigs. It didn't allow me to compare projects at work either. I've seen some apps try to solve this by adding more priority levels, even numeric ones that go from 1 to 100. That would have given me enough room for sure. The thought of having to write down those rules, remember them, and reference them every time I made a new task felt exhausting. What I really wanted was a way to rank tasks naturally, based on where they belonged. I wanted to be able to say, this task is urgent because for this project, it's urgent, without comparing it to everything else in my life. That kind of organic prioritization for me starts at the top. Let's say I've got 3 main areas of life: work, school, personal. Which one brings the most value? For me, it's work, followed by school, then personal. So if work is high priority, school is medium, and personal is low. That becomes my baseline. Still, that's not enough on its own. Within work, I might have 2 projects. 1 high priority project, 1 low priority project. At school, I might have a class that's critical for graduation, so that's high priority. And personally, maybe 1 hobby project that's fun, but not essential, and another that really matters to me. And that'll be high priority as well. Here's where it gets interesting to me. The high priority work project sits at the top overall. But the low priority work project might still rank higher than the low priority personal project, but lower than the high priority personal project that really matters to me. And of course, not as high as the essential school class. So every task I add fits into the structure, and each task inherits some of its importance from the project it belongs to, which inherits importance from the broader area like work, school, or personal. And that shift changed how I thought of prioritization. Suddenly, determining priority felt natural. I didn't have to think about how important something was in context of my entire life. I only had to think about how important it was in its own local context. It made creating new tasks easier, it helped lower the mental effort of deciding what to do next, and it allowed everything, work, personal, side projects, to coexist in this one system. The traditional low, medium, and high scale never really made sense to me, but once I started ranking tasks locally, in context, everything clicked. So I created another spreadsheet to test this out. And eventually that experiment, along with the previous spreadsheet, became the foundation for this app I'm working on, Task Beacon. And I'll talk more about that part next time. But for now, I'm just curious, how do you handle determining the priority of your tasks? And do you keep everything in one list? Let me know in the comments. I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts. And thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Bye-bye.